Imagine you're someone who's very self-centered. In every social interaction, if your friends want to talk about themselves, you'd immediately interrupt and start talking about yourself instead. You'd meet up with a friend and the whole conversation would revolve around you. Your friend never gets a chance to share opinions with you. Now, I want you to look at yourself from your friend's perspective. What does she think of you? Are you perceived as a cool guy to others? Principle number 1. Be genuinely interested in other people. The pleasure is not in talking about yourself all the time. Why? Because you already know everything about yourself. If the other person questions it, go ahead and do it, but don't forget that growth lies in new experiences. Molding a stronger character requires you to learn from others as well, and for that to happen, you have to let them talk. If you like reading books, it doesn't mean you can't learn anything from a friend who likes football. For example, he can share with you information about the history of football, which you probably know nothing about. Try to imagine every person you meet as a new book. With every book you read, you learn something about life, sports, art, and so on. But for that to happen, you have to stop talking for a second and encourage others to talk about themselves. Let's put it this way, if you're an artist, you want people to hear your music, right? You crave being heard. Well, guess what? It's the same thing in social interactions. As much as you crave sharing yourself, the same goes for others. So stop blabbering about yourself all the time and give the person some space to breathe and talk about their interests as well. So there's this rare species who walk around constantly pissed off all the time. They never smile. If questioned what's wrong, they reply with a burst of anger like, "Leave me alone," or "Don't talk to me." It's as if they are dead already, but they're still living anyway. Now, if you recognize yourself among this type of people, then this principle is for you. Smile. Who gives a shit if you're troubled? We all have problems. People in war, under missile attacks, and are still smiling. People on their deathbed and are still smiling. So stop walking around with that pissed off look on your face and enjoy yourself. Life is too short for that. Thing is, when you're depressed, you're so overwhelmed by a cocktail of negative emotions that you start to see everything in black and white. At that stage, you are literally blocking yourself from being happy. The remedy is to remember that your problems are just thoughts, like any other thought. If you can recognize and label your problems as impermanent thoughts and emotions, even if you're going through the utmost adversity, you can set it aside and smile. So I remember this guy in college who was always lonely. I wondered why nobody wanted to talk to him. One day, he suddenly came up to me. He said he was trying to make friends, but no one seemed interested in his personality. I replied, okay, then we should have coffee sometime and get to know each other. So I met the guy for coffee, and for 2 hours straight, he didn't stop gossiping and whining about his life. Oh, did you hear about our neighbors? They got divorced. Oh, did you hear about this politician? He said this and this. Did you know I had many problems? Let me list them for you. Principle 3. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. If you're the kind of guy who can't stop complaining, gossiping, then no wonder people are alienated by you. No wonder you have 0 friends. Strange thing is, some people have no hobbies but to speak ill of others. When they have nothing to gossip about, they talk about their problems. Ridiculous. For me, the people I'd like to hang out with are the following. Hey bro, did you read this book? Let's exchange insights. I found this cool business growth trick. Let me share it with you. Let's go work out together. These are mainly the people I consider as likable. They never gossip, never complain. They're just sharing positivity, and you could really sense that you're actually energized by their presence. Realistically speaking, what's the benefit from hanging out with someone who's constantly complaining how much of a victim he is, constantly criticizing and shaming others, and never ceases to condemn pretend for a second that he's always the right one. It's as though you're listening to a broken radio that never stops buzzing. If you can still make friends while complaining, gossiping, then it's undoubted that your friends are also from the same category. A positive person would never want to hang out with complainers, gossipers, and the like. So fix your behavior and you'll surely be able to resonate and connect with more people.